Wanna shake up the status quo, rock the boat, break a few eggs?
Well, you've come to the right place. ChaoticRadio.com.
You are listening to Heel Talk Radio on ChaoticRadio.com. I am your most grateful host, the 5-card stud, Jeff Maverick. And in studio here with us, well, I mean, I guess it's me because I took last week off. But with me as always, my faithful companion, no fucks given, Cole Dawson. Cole Daddy, how you doing?
Fantastic on this New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Yeah, that's right. Final show of the year.
Yes, it is. How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was awesome, dude. I'm a very, very happy camper. Daddy got his FSC over the last couple of days.
Oh, good times. So you didn't shoot yourself in the foot?
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
Not yet. So I got my firearm safety certificate. Time to go and buy me a couple of guns because in Trump's America, we're definitely going to need them.
I kind of feel like there's a Zimmerman story in our future.
So I listened to the show last week.
Nice. What'd you think of me and Ronald there?
You and Ron Stoppable, man. I like it. It was a lot of fun. I loved your guys' top 10. Thank you for letting me crash your top 10.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed about that, to be honest. You get Colin with the cruiserweight and the top super heavyweights of all time. I don't care what he was billed as.
What's he billed as?
I don't care.
What's he billed as?
He's billed as 205.
Super heavyweight. He ain't a 205 liver.
That's all right. I'll see if I can piss you off of my list this week.
Okay. Shit, dude. If Snooki's number one, I am nipple twisting the fuck out of you.
No, see, I wouldn't screw up our list, intentionally. Just maybe elevate somebody much higher than they deserve to be just to irritate you.
Okay.
But someone that actually deserves to be on the list.
But to be fair, my number one would have probably been Andre.
Yeah.
Andre or Big Show. I love Big Show. We have a birthday connection.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it was funny. That's where he didn't make my top 10. So that was an interesting conversation to have with Ron last week because you think he was top 3 on Ron's list.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And let's get real about it, man. I mean, over the last, we'll say 20, 30 years, he has been the legitimate most entertaining super heavyweight out there.
Maybe. I mean, I'd still go Undertaker over him.
I'm talking character-wise, vignettes,
I just think he's just been a big giant waste of talent is what it is. They never capitalized on it, and they made him basically WWE made him. You remember Kevin Sullivan's brother Evad
Dave Sullivan?
Yeah, Dave Sullivan. That's basically what they made Big Show.
Yeah,
at times, and it's hard once you make someone a big cuddly teddy bear to try to make him a grizzly bear again. It just
I don't know, man.
You're Winnie the Pooh, bud. Not.
I really think with Big Show they can do a thing like what they did with Festus, hit the bell and he fucking snaps and just I think something like that would not to that degree would work.
I think once you've jumped the shark with somebody, there's no coming back from that. You can have him off for a couple years and bring him back and he can have a kind of a run, but once you've established that Mark Henry guy's basically a big jobber, but even then no one cares when Mark Henry has a run. They give him a push and everyone's like, great, Mark Henry's getting a run right now. Let's watch something else. And I feel it's the same thing with Big Show. They brought him in, and right away off the bat, they dropped the ball, and it turned into a big thing. But
well, I wish they could do something better with him because I really, I fucking love Big Show.
I like him. I think he's talented. I think he gets a lot more heat than he deserves, but he just isn't on my top 10.
One of my top thrown together tag teams.
Jericho. Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter who they put with Jericho. He'd be one of your top guys.
That's probably true. It really is, dude. Because, I mean, him and Kevin Owens, amazing.
Yeah.
I think the only person that they could put with Jericho, and I would just be like, fuck that crap, would be like The Miz.
I like The Miz. What he's doing now is good.
I'm not saying that I don't like The Miz. I don't think I would like that combination.
I think it would be a fantastic bromance.
If you could play it off like what they're doing with Owens and
exactly.
Jericho, maybe.
I think you could give Chris Jericho anything and he'd make it work. He did the program with Fandango and got it,
He got that shit over.
Yeah, he tried. He
got himself over.
Fandango thing got over. And the thing that pissed me off the most about Fandango was that Chris Jericho did the job on WrestleMania clean, just straight up to Fandango, no problem, but then he wouldn't put over AJ Styles. Like, shut up. Get out of here. You're the old guy now. I'm sorry. Like, you're Chris Jericho. You're established. You're, like, in the Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter what you do anymore.
He's
like,
Hall
it
of
doesn't
Fame
matter.
Now, so.
You could put over AJ Styles, the next WWE big thing on WrestleMania, since you put over Fandango.
And that's another guy I got to give a shout out to, AJ Styles. Holy shit, that guy has made SmackDown super watchable.
I think they're winning in the ratings.
I think so, because man, the stuff he's been doing with him and Ellsworth and Ambrose, Lily's giving me the eyes. She loves Dean Ambrose.
I like Ambrose too. He's fantastic.
He's
he was
fun.
by far the best guy in that group when they broke it up, and they treated him like the third class citizen. It's like, you guys are idiots. Like, we get it, you guys don't. Oh, yeah. Roman Reigns, the worst guy in the group. Literally, the worst guy in the group is the guy they decided to push.
Yeah, that's a dude that really needed to stay in NXT for like another 10 years.
No, I just think they needed to keep him in tag team, like, slow burn. He needed to be a slow burn.
Yeah, that guy's just awful.
You can't elevate somebody to main event status when they can't have a main event match.
But,
that's all there is to it.
Through luck of being in a freaking a program with AJ, he had a couple of really good ones. But I think, I almost think that AJ carried the shit out of those matches.
Nobody. John Cena has had about 300 great matches in a row, and he's still getting shit on because he got put in that book. They dropped the ball. They screwed up. Roman Reigns will never be over, no matter how good he gets from this point on, because they screwed up, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Like, it's it. They buried him forever, and it's their fault because they don't know what they're doing.
Poor Roman.
No, I don't feel sorry for him because he's garbage, and they shouldn't have give him a push. Like, they screwed up. All there is to it. Like, I could see it. Like, everyone was telling me how good he was, and I'm like, guys, he sucks. He really is not good. And everyone was like, no, bro, he's really over. Trust me, bro. He's going to be great. And I'm like, no, he really sucks.
So you're friends with fucking Eric Cartman now?
Well, that's what annoying people sound like in my head. Like,
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Roman Reigns, bro. He's great.
Look at this damn millennial over here taking selfies and shit.
It's all right.
What? You're technically shut the fuck up.
Oh, let's not cuss at the children on the air.
Hey, shut the... Love you, heartsies. Okay. So, anyway, how was your Christmas? I saw some of the pictures of...
the kids had a fantastic Christmas. That's really what it is about.
Were those really Trout shirts?
For Violet, yes. Our middle daughter, we've heard her on the air. She's a big Mike Trout fan.
I knew she was smart. That's the smartest one out of your bunch.
Well, yeah. Autumn got a Kobe Bryant jersey, and Santa also brought her with the jersey tickets to the Laker game for next Friday. So
that's cool for you guys.
It is. It's
that's
fantastic.
Really fun. That's really cool.
Yeah, we've gone to a game the last, I think, 3 years in a row. We've gone to at least one game. We got 2 in last year because it was Kobe's last year. Like, we had to get him in.
You know what, man? Last season, I came so close to buying tickets just because I knew it'd be like the last time I'd see Kobe Bryant play.
Well, and it was special for me. Just like I wanted to make, because the first time we went, that was the goal. Like, I'm like, look, I know, like, it finally clicked in my head, like, because I'd honestly never been live to a Laker game in my life before 2 years ago. And I told everyone, this is what I want for Christmas. Like, I've never been like, it clicked in my head, like, look, Kobe is going to retire here soon. He's had some injuries and this and that. And I wanted to be able to say, look, I was there live. I saw him. It was great.
Yeah.
And Autumn is old enough to remember that kind of stuff. So I wanted to make sure that we did that. And so I did for Christmas. I got Lakers tickets. And we went
That's awesome.
to Clipper game. And then promptly after that, Kobe was out for the season. And so we went, and it was fun.
See, I haven't seen Kobe play since I want to say it was the season after his rookie season.
Okay.
Because I don't really watch basketball anymore. I did for a long time. Loved the Bulls back in the day.
Yeah.
Love the Lakers too.
Yeah.
Because they're my hometown team. But fuck, dude, Jordan, right?
Yeah, overrated. Overrated.
Fuck off.
He's like the. I mean, like
No,
when
no,
I
no,
say
no,
overrated,
no.
I mean
We're
like
not gonna get
he's
into
like
this
the sixth best NBA player of all time. Like best. He's the greatest, but he's the sixth best all time. Like
Okay.
there's a difference. Like when everyone talks about Muhammad Ali, he's the greatest, of course, because his legend is the biggest. Same thing in wrestling. Like people are gonna say Ric Flair's the greatest. Okay. He's definitely not the best. I'm
No.
sorry. There are dozens of guys who were better in the ring than
Shit,
him.
dude, there's a dozen guys now that are better in the ring than
I
he ever
disagree.
was.
I
Oh,
disagree.
no.
There's like three maybe. Because Ric Flair actually told stories in his matches. While he didn't do that much, technically speaking, his matches actually made sense and told a story, and there was selling involved. And I'm sorry, but if you don't sell, the match means absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Like if you pretend that nothing hurts, then okay, why am I watching? I don't care.
Because I'm invincible.
No, okay, but then you're invincible. Why did you lose to a roaring clothesline after you kicked out of 17 head drops? Like, get out of here.
Did you
get out of here?
You almost told me to eat a dick.
I just about did. Not you, just in general.
I
I'm talking
know.
about the wrestler that just kicked out of 27 head drops and pile drivers
Yeah.
and then jobs to a roaring elbow. Like, you suck, bro. Get out of here.
Well,
You suck. I'm
blame,
sorry.
I blame that one on somebody's shitty finish.
Well, mostly Chris Hero finishes, but it is what it is.
Okay.
I've said this to his face, by the
I
way.
know
I'm not
you
just
have.
talking shit about Chris Hero. I love his matches, but like the last 30 seconds, I always like, what the fuck did you just do? Like you had this great 45-minute match, and then you did that shit. Like,
You're such a dick, dude.
no, I was just honest. Like, I mean, he gave me a best of DVD. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And he was kind of like, well, I mean, at least you get to watch Samoa Joe. It's like, no, it's good, bro. Like, I like your work. I just don't like your finishes. Like, I don't like my least favorite finish of all time, logically speaking, makes perfect sense. But I hate it because in the storytelling aspect of the world, you build up to this big climax, you hit your finishing move, and the guy kicks out, and it's like, oh, cool, what's going to happen now? Oh, I'm just going to pick him up and hit my finisher again, and then it's over. Like, okay, so you just wasted the climax is what happened.
You literally
Like,
wasted.
yeah.
You
Instead
made
of
him eat your finish.
bursting, I had to like try to cut it off mid climax, and then like it just dribbled out at the end is what happened. Instead of me like squirting all over the walls, like
Gross.
it is what it is.
I
I'm just
know,
saying.
I know. It's like,
it's my yeah.
oh.
It's like I'm still disappointing. We got there, but I'm kind of disappointed with it.
Well, I mean, it happens. There's a few guys.
But
out
logically, it makes sense because, like, if you're watching a boxing fight, you knock a guy down, he gets back up, and then you hit him again, and okay, the ref goes, okay, he's had enough.
Yeah.
And it's not super climactic as like a one-punch knockout, but it's still a finish. So logically speaking, it makes sense that if you didn't get him with the first stunner, the second one will finish him off. But it's just really anticlimactic for me when I'm watching something and then like, oh, that big explosion didn't get him, but then he gets up and gets shot in the head. Okay, that's great.
Actually, I think I would pop huge if that happened in an action movie.
Well, it happens all the time. Oh God, I'm trying to think of it. I can see it. Like literally, the guy's dead, and then all of a sudden he just sits up, and they shoot him in the head, and I can't think of what.
I know
scene
that
it is, but-
happened in Scream.
Yes, exactly. Like it happened in Scream. Like, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
You
but
just
I'm-
get that in horror movies. It happens quite frequently.
Yeah, but I'm talking like in an action flick, like a dude narrowly avoids dying from getting exploded.
Yeah.
But then he turns around and pop, he gets shot in the head.
Exactly.
I think that would be funny as fuck. Dude. I would laugh.
Yeah, he
my
dives
ass
out of an exploding building and then like steps on a mine. Gets hit by a bus.
that's
Something stupid like that.
Yeah, or a falling pebble.
Yeah.
Just-
But anyway, what the hell were we talking about 5 seconds ago?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
So yeah, back to that.
yeah.
I saw him play. It was like the season after his rookie year, and
Okay.
I knew then that there was something special
Oh
about
yeah,
him.
for sure.
I'm like, wow. I mean, and he was one of the few guys that you ever saw that got drafted straight from high school.
Yeah. Well, now
And-
they have the one and done rule, so everyone has to go to college
Yeah.
for 1 year, which is the worst rule ever. Baseball, the way they do it in baseball is you can, if you get drafted out of high school, you can go, but if you go to like a major university, you have to stay for 3 years.
Huh.
So you have to stay till after your junior year, or you can go to community college for a year. So like, there's options in baseball, but it's like kind of a waste for these kids. I know we're getting into a bigger discussion.
No, dude. Now we're talking a sport that I know some shit about.
But like, how stupid is it that a kid's going to go to college knowing full well they're only going there for 1 year? Are they really going to do their work? Are they going to get
they're not
all they
even
want
gonna
is
try
the
to get an
$50 million
education.
payday at the end of the day. So
yeah.
I think a 3-year deal would be better, or you can let them go out of high school
You know,
because you're an adult. Why can't you go make a living?
At least get your bachelor's. You know, get your 2-year degree. Get something. Get some sort of an education, because honestly, professional sports, unless you are fucking amazing, is not going to work out for you.
But if you know you're going to be a top 10 draft pick in the NBA, you're getting guaranteed like $30 million. So you can buy an education later. So like, I fully support that. As long as, I mean, but if you're going to be the last guy picked and you're going to get league minimum and tool around for a couple years making a couple $100,000, like, you can't live on that.
No.
I'm sorry. Like, if you play in the NBA for 5 years and you get $500,000 for 5 years, in theory you probably could live off of that, but let's take out half for taxes and everything. Like,
Yeah.
$250,000
and then your
a year.
agent,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that doesn't set you up for life. I'm sorry. Like,
no, never. No, it wouldn't. So, I mean, and to be honest with you, I think professional sports players get paid way too much fucking money
I don't.
anyway. I don't give a shit what you think.
No, I don't, because the owners are making billions. So why? And the
I don't-
players
and-
are only getting 1% of that in most of the leagues. It's absolutely insane.
It really is. I mean, sports in general, I mean, that's a multi-gazillion dollar industry.
2 years ago, the NFL made $40 billion with the B, and the players made $1 billion of that 40. So screw you. Each of the owners got $1 billion. Then this is profit. This is like, after overhead, everything, they profited $40 billion. So kiss my ass. The players should get at least 30% of that. Like, a third should go to the players, and then the past players that are on pain pills and can't hardly walk anymore should get some of that money. Screw the owners. They don't need to make $1 billion a year profit on people killing themselves.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Yeah, so now that we've delved into all my beefs about sports.
Wait, no. You brought one up last week. And you know I'm very passionate about that particular subject of baseball.
Okay, you're going to have to remind me.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Pete Rose.
Yes,
He's
is
in the
and he
WWE Hall
isn't
of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. He's
See,
also in the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame
I know,
now, which is cool.
I was glad that they did that, because at least they are acknowledging the fact that the guy is legitimately the greatest hitter to ever play the sport.
I wouldn't say he's the greatest
He
hitter
has
ever.
the most fucking hits
Yeah,
in
but
history.
that's because he played for 27 seasons.
So?
He's a career 280 hitter. Ty
Who?
Cobb is a career 340 hitter. I will gladly take racist ass
could
Ty
kiss my
Cobb
ass.
over Pete Rose. Just never got hurt. Like, he's just a freak of nature that he never got hurt.
Yeah.
And he was able to play into his 40s
Same thing
and
with
still be good.
Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
those guys are just
dude
freaks of
never
nature.
missed a fucking game in his
Yeah.
entire career.
But I like Pete Rose wouldn't be like in my top 10 all-time hitters ever, but he had the longevity. And if you have that record in a sport where up until 15 years ago the records were the most important thing ever, you should be in the Hall of Fame. But it's his own doing. He's the one who signed the thing and said, I'm out of baseball forever, which is the Hall of Fame's part of baseball. So when he dies, he'll get in and it'll be great.
I know. It's still,
stupid.
It is.
It's really stupid.
dumb. And you know the commission for the freaking Hall of Fame could overturn that. They could.
Yeah,
but they won't.
I mean, it is what it is. But my thing is, like, if Ty Cobb, who like literally murdered people and was a card-carrying member of the Ku Klux Klan can be in the Hall of Fame. Like, Pete Rose bet on some baseball games, guys. Like, really, in the grand scheme of things, what is worse? Like, there's going to be guys that were on steroids and guys that did drugs in the Hall of Fame. I guarantee you there already are guys that did drugs.
Isn't McGuire
hardcore.
in the...
No, he's not, because he was a PED user, like, self-admittedly. The only guy who's, like, kind of on the... I mean, anyone who's gotten in the last couple years, there's questions about it. Like, I'm pretty positive. I'm almost 95% positive. Well, let's go 99.9% positive. King Griffey Jr. did not take performance-enhancing drugs. My uncle is an actual close friend of his and works with him right now, and he's 100% positive he never did. But in this day and age, it's hard to just be 100% positive about anybody.
Well, yeah. No, you can't be. Well, shit, dude. 20 minutes in and we already we went over everything. So
says you.
No, dude, I'm done talking about actual sports. Let's talk about fake sports.
All right, fake sports.
This one over here has been giving me shit all week about wrestling being fake.
Okay.
Like and using the fake word, and she does it because she knows it pisses me off. So,
and me too. But when we're talking about two different subjects, when people say it's fake, like we've talked about this a few times, it's not a sport. It's not. Although in my book, if gymnastics is a sport, then professional wrestling is a sport. Although at the end of the day, people just randomly assign scores and someone gets a gold medal. But to me, it's the same thing. WWE, if the people like you, you make money, they give you a gold belt at the end of the day. Like that's what it comes down to. They don't just give them away. You have to earn it. But I don't know. But it's not fake, and we know this because we've been in a ring. We know how much it hurts.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not watching a TV show.
In a couple of weeks, we're gonna have my cousin come in and sit down, him and his buddy Matt, and they're gonna both tell us how not fake it is. They are both currently, and I just found out about my cousin doing this.
Okay.
I knew his buddy was doing it, but my cousin is working with Jarrell at the Della O gym.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so my cousin is in professional wrestling training
sweet.
now, and he's not a small kid. You saw the picture on my Facebook.
Okay.
And yeah, man, I just found out like maybe a month ago. So we're gonna have them come in and tell us how their training's going.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
And
that's great.
I know that you have trained people and you've been in training, and I've done training.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It would be cool to see the perspective of how people are doing things nowadays.
Well, yeah,
because it's been 10 fucking years since I was trained.
Yeah, and I've been to the School of Hard Knocks within the last couple years, and it's still, at least I know what Jesse does. He's still doing somewhat of the basic same thing.
Like the stuff that he was doing when it was him and Bill?
Well, I mean, it differs because what happens is you have different trainers.
Yeah.
Jesse's not, at this point in his life, he's not physically in the ring training guys like he was 30 years ago. But he will, every once in a while, I like going because every once in a while he gets a hair up his ass and he gets giddy and he gets up in the ring and he starts doing shit. Hey, brother, let me show you this fucking, this hold, man. It's really awesome. And
I like it when he posts videos on Facebook about it because you could see the sheer fucking joy in his face.
Yeah, he still loves the business, and I don't doubt that for a minute.
Yeah, I really do like that guy sometimes. He's an okay dude.
Well, I like Jesse. He's always been good to me business wise. And I know that's not the case for everybody, but he's been good to me business wise, and he's been real respectful, and he's taken care of any of my guys that have rolled through his school. Yeah, and including myself, he's been real good to us. And we might be getting Marky to come in. Just because I don't want to call him by his real name, I'm going to, or his work name, freaking Big Bad Caddy Daddy. Oh yeah, Chris Cadillac.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I know you know
He'd
Marky.
Be fun. Oh,
yeah,
of course
he would be. Oh, and just so I could rib him about his fucking stand-up comedy career for a few minutes. But apparently he's doing a podcast now. It's called Don't Be Mark's Podcast.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And, dude, I took a listen to it, and it's pretty decent. It basically us, but we're better. And I'll say that all day long. But you know
Well,
what?
you have me. The talent is here. You hit the
Fuck your
jackpot,
face.
bro.
You know what though? Hey, you know this. Okay, this is the end of the year. It's a little sappy, but I am gonna say, dude, I am very, 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 very happy with my choice to bring you on.
As you should be.
Oh, you go fuck yourself. You know what? Forget
No,
it.
hey, I'm blessed to be here.
No.
I'm blessed to be here.
I was looking for a co-host, and I had my pick of some of the guys who are currently in the business, currently working, but I knew Fridays for
Yeah.
somebody who
Yeah.
fit, I mean, shit,
Who's
dude.
actively in the business?
Yeah, it is going to be tough. So,
Oh yeah, because that's night to work,
yeah. Well, fucking Human Tornado wanted to come in and do it,
man.
which would have been amazing because, I mean, fucking Craig, dude. I mean, yeah, the dude's fucking nuts. He is legitimately crazy.
It would
but
have been fun to listen to.
I love the hell out of
Yeah.
that guy, and I've been a huge fan for quite some time.
Yes, I have a good story. One of the just dumbest random matches ever. I ended up in a 4-way match with him and Biggie Biggs one time.
Oh, we're totally gonna get him to come in too.
Oh yeah, that Biggie would be great.
I love
But-
Biggie. I've worked a couple shows with him. He's a
Yeah,
great
I've
dude.
had a few matches with him. It was great. This match was just one of those weird things. We put the match together. It was the first match on the card, and I guess at training, some of the guys from like Ricky Reyes and Rocky Romero, a couple of guys, they went to the show and they were being they were sitting in the front row and like giving us a hard time a little bit, and they were encouraging him to do a Liger kick because I guess he was screwing around in training and doing it, and so he's like, I got to do a Liger kick to somebody, and Human Tornado like, I'm out, because he was at training and saw what happened and knew that this was bad news, and so he just hauls out of the ring, and I can't remember who else was in this match for the life of me. I apologize to whoever it was, but
It was probably Ron.
I actually want to lean towards it was Jarek Matthews, but
Tyler?
I'm not entirely sure, and if it is, I feel really bad, but I just remember it was those two.
I'm telling.
But so he just gets the other guy and goes out of the ring like, I'm not no part of that, and so Biggie's like, okay, I'm like, Liger kick. I'm like, what? I just stand in the corner, okay. So Biggie's a big dude. He's a big dude, so he comes roaring at me into the corner and hits me with this Liger kick. Well, his giant frame goes all the way straight into my extended right leg. Oh yeah. And and immediately I'm like, this is bad. And so I rolled out of the ring, and I wasn't involved in the finish in any way, so it was fine. And so I just rolled out. And then Human Tornado comes over. He's like, what up, dude? I'm like, my leg is done. He rolled on me with the Liger kick. He's like, oh, yeah, I forgot what it was, bro. I heard him say that. Yeah, that was a bad idea. You should have done that. And so then the match finished up, and he comes up and he helps me out after the match. And then like the next match or two, Ron was in there, and he was wrestling Jason the Butcher. I don't know if you remember Jason, but he's another
I do
300.
remember.
Yeah. And he was a really nice guy, but not necessarily all there in the head, maybe a little Forrest Gumpish, like right in that area. And it was a hardcore match. And there was going to be a run-in at the end of the match to set up for a later date. And I think Ron won the hardcore title on this occasion. And he told the guy, like, come in. He was supposed to come in with a chair and hit Ron with the chair. And he goes, bro, don't be afraid to send it. Well, he took that as, okay, take your Mark McGuire 500-foot home run swing with the chair. And instead of going overhead, like, he swung it like a baseball bat and knocked Ron out cold. Like, I mean, out cold. And he rolled. I mean, he literally laid in the ring and didn't move for 2 minutes. And then another guy came in and there was a big bump and it woke him up. I saw him roll out of the ring and put his feet down and open his eyes, and his eyes were straight glass, like he was out. And so I'm like on one leg hopping around in the back like, oh, Ron's really hurt, guys. He's messed up. We need to, and he shook it off a little bit and stumbled to the back and made it to the back. But both his parents were there on this show, so it was a little bit freaky. I think it was the last time his parents went to go see him wrestle because he got legit knocked out. It was hard. It was odd, but that show was just weird. It was one of the awesome times because it was my ring, so we did ring crew. It was one of the awesome times at the end of a travel show. I didn't have to do any ring crew at the end of the day.
One of my, it's just kind of a little stupid story, but we were doing an IWL show, which most of my stories are. So I'm walking around before the show starts, no fans, anybody, and Tornado's there.
Yeah.
I walk over. Hey, Craig, how's everything going?
You're going with the shoot name. Good job. I just told my whole story without going with the shoot name.
I've been saying Craig the whole time, dude.
Go ahead. Finish
Okay,
your
so
story.
Tornado.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, Tornado, what's going on, man? How have you been? He's, yeah, man. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, so did Vic book you? He's like, nah, man. Just
showed up.
Just showed up.
Because he goes to every wrestling show.
He does. I have a theory. I'll get back to my story, but I have a theory that you could take a picture at an AWS show, and at the same time, somebody could take a picture at an EWF show at the very same time, and Tornado will be in both pictures.
Maybe.
That dude, I mean, he's literally everywhere. But anyway, so this is one of the times that Jarrell brought his kid with him.
Okay.
And we were, taking turns kind of handing off the kid because he's like 2 years old. Then he's running around. What are you looking at?
Oh, no, the phone number I'm texting. We're going to have a caller later. I wanted to text the number out.
That guy?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. All right. JB already knows the number that guy called.
I know he hasn't called us in like a month. JB, I hope he's we haven't turned him off to the show.
You know what? That
he hasn't
guy
been
is
fact checking us or anything,
that
man.
guy is he fact checked me a couple weeks
Okay.
ago.
Okay.
He's still listening. That dude loves our show. Actually, man, I gotta give big props to our listeners. You guys may not be calling in, but you're definitely listening, and I gotta thank you very, very much for that. I'm super happy. We have gone from about 5 listeners my first week,
Yeah.
to roughly around 325 right in there.
So it's continuing to grow. So
It
we must
is-
not be too terribly bad.
It is continuing to grow, and I'm very happy with that. I have found out that somehow we're on iTunes as well, and I can't
Nice.
look at that because I'm on an Android device. So if somebody finds our podcast on iTunes, give it a download, give it a listen. I've got at least 3 of our shows on my phone, but that's because our former engineer
Yeah.
would send them to me, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, feel free to hit us up on the social media. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We've got our fan page on Facebook. We've got our Twitter at Heel Talk Radio. That would be great if you guys gave us a follow on there. I have some little nuggets of truth that I drop,
Oh, no.
and I'm always trying to get into a flame war with somebody. So,
Oh, yet you get mad at me every time I go on a no fucks given rant.
well,
on the air.
But dude, Twitter wars are fun.
No.
That's how you eventually get good guests, or you get
No.
blocked. One of the two.
I'm sorry.
No,
Twitter wars are beneath people, and we just elected a president who is a monster on Twitter wars. That's just amazing to me.
Dude, we're going to go to war because of his Twitter wars. I guarantee that. But
I digress.
Yeah, you don't want to get me on that one. Wifey and I had a huge conversation. So, yeah, hit us up on the social media. Eventually, Cole will get around to doing our Instagrams.
Probably not.
Nobody ever wants to see our ugly mugs on Facebook anyway.
Exactly.
But we'll start doing something. Oh, fuck, dude. I'll have Lily do an Instagram for us.
There we go.
Make her our social media content advisor. But, yeah, give us a call. 909-360-8330.
Nice. He did all zeros tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All zeros. Ron will be proud.
Ron will be proud. Run for your life. So, tonight, we are going to be talking about managers, valets, those dipshits that always seem to weasel their way into a match. we're going to be doing yet another top 10.
We gotta close the end of the year with a countdown, right?
We have to. It's the final countdown. You know what, dude? I'm going to have Lily make us up a little bump with that.
Nice.
For our countdown list days,
Nice.
which we will have many of them. People love our countdown lists. so
Good. I'm glad you're getting some positive feedback.
I am
on
getting
that.
some positive feedback. I love the one last week.
Me too. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. Once I knew you weren't going to be here and I confirmed Ron could be, I was like, oh man, we got to do this.
Yeah. You know what, dude? And I really do like me some super heavyweights. So, it's a good list. So this week we're going to be doing our top 10, and these are our favorites. These may not be the top 10 best
Yes.
of all time,
Yeah.
but they are our top 10 favorites. Only criteria on this one was it had to be a manager or a valet. No wrestlers acting as a manager like
Yeah.
Kurt Angle with the World's
not
Greatest
a
Tag
not a
Team.
special event like an
Yeah.
actual
Like an actual manager or valet.
And we did qualify that with it had to be somebody who actually contributed, who got involved in storylines and in interfered in matches or
Yeah,
had
so-
not like Marlena with Goldust who just sat there and smoked stogies, like
Yeah.
never did anything worthwhile ever.
Yeah, she was going to be one of my honorable mentions, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, but she wasn't.
Didn't do anything.
Didn't do shit until after the Gold Dust
Yeah.
thing when she was Sean Stasiak's manager.
Yeah. So we went. It had to. We did qualify at least that you had to be contributing.
Yes.
In some way, not just standing there looking pretty.
Yes, sir. So after the break, we will be getting into our top 10. Give us a call. Let us know some of your favorite managers. We'll let you know if they're on the list. Not going to tell you the number. Give us a call, 909-360-8330.
Nice.
This is Heel Talk Radio on chaoticradio.com.
Wanna shake up the status quo, rock the boat, break a few eggs?
Well, you've come to the right place. ChaoticRadio.com.
All right, we are back. Heel Talk Radio on chaoticradio.com. Going to be talking about some managers and some valets.
I'm really excited about this list, actually.
I didn't think I was going to, but when I finally sat down and was just like, because I had a lot of downtime at work this week.
Nice.
Gonna have a lot more downtime at work this week too,
Nice.
because of all the holidays and whatnot. But yeah, man, I when I sat down and I had to start with 1 through 3, 1 through 5, because those were the ones that I knew.
Yeah, easy ones.
The super easy ones, like who your favorite manager of all time
Oh,
is.
yeah. Yeah.
I
I just feel like this list is going to be one of those where we're going to have some disagreements really quickly, and it's going the conversation's going to be good.
I actually have a feeling we're going to have a little bit of overlap.
Oh,
we
for
always
sure.
do.
For sure, because there's like 3 or 4 guys that like have to be on your list.
Possibly.
And then there's some other people where it's going to be interesting.
Yes. So let's go ahead and we are going to start with our top 10 favorite managers / valets of all time. Cole,
Yes.
since you started it off last week,
Nice.
because you were in the big boy
I
chair,
was in the big boy chair.
did you like it? It
was fun.
It's a lot harder than it looks, though, isn't it?
Well, just that I didn't know what was going on.
Exactly.
Like I didn't know what was going on, so that was interesting. But then I do have to give you some props actually, because I had a realization last week that because in the big boy chair I kind of had to lead the conversation a little bit, and that was a little bit different. There were a couple times where we had like just a minute of awkward silence, and you do a really good job about kind of steering the ship, I would say, guiding the ship. You're a good captain, and
I try to be, man.
Yeah.
I love this show. It's you know what, dude? I got some shit for coming down here tonight.
oh
Because
yeah.
I was supposed to go and see Rogue One with the wifey and the son.
Oh, so you got major shit.
Oh, dude, I was told that I should quit because this is getting in the way of family time, and I'm like, well, this week it is, because I only have the one day off
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah, and that's
But-
rough.
And I tried to tell her, I'm like, you know what? This is the one thing that I do. This is literally my only,
Yes, this is my one hobby. Leave me
my
alone.
one hobby.
Yeah.
I said, I
Yeah.
don't.
Once a week is my one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I told her I have no problem whatsoever bringing the kids down with me.
Oh yeah.
They can sit in the lobby, they can dick off on
Oh,
their
yeah.
phones, whatever. So
We'll let them talk and feel special.
yeah, exactly. We throw down every once in a while, let them go. But I told her, I'm like, just chill. I'm sorry that I'm having to bail, but I also had to get the dog's medication too, and that's right down the street over at Sam's Club. So, it is what it is. All right, so Cole,
Yes, sir.
what's your number 10, buddy?
All right, my number 10. Now, in this right off the bat, I think this one might be a little bit on the like, really? But for me, this person is one of, I think, the best heat seekers of all time. Like, got to a level as a manager where as soon as the music hit, the people legitimately, not in a bad way, not like Roman Reigns hate, but like legitimately were like, oh my God, I can't wait to boo this person. And it really was kind of an accident that this person ended up in the business at all anyway. My
Okay.
number 10 is Vicky Guerrero.
Okay.
I thought she was a fantastic manager and a little rough when she started
Uh-huh.
out because she wasn't a wrestler. She wasn't in the business at all.
No.
And I this is one of the times I want to give props to WWE and Vince McMahon, because really what happened is they took care of a family. Little behind the scenes stuff, some things I heard that Eddie Guerrero and his family were not in great financial shape.
Yeah.
Because he didn't do a great job managing his money. And Vince really stepped up and made sure that his family was provided for. And that's a great thing. But Vicky got the ball and ran with it and did a fantastic job.
I will give you props on that. She was not on mine, but she was going to be one of my honorable mentions because I loved her as the heel authority figure.
That too. She was great in that role.
Yeah. And you're right, dude. People love to hate her. And as soon as you heard, excuse me.
Exactly.
It was like
one of the
nails
best
on a
catchphrases
chalkboard.
ever, right?
Yeah.
And I really over. Like I really, really over.
And I thought at the end of her run, how she was able to actually invoke a little bit of sympathy.
Yeah.
Was really, really good, especially for somebody who's got zero fucking training in that type of work. So yeah, I'll give you props on your number 10. That's a good number 10. I didn't have her on mine, but I should have.
But just a quick Vicky Guerrero story. You know Shandy Elias. She's referee Marty Elias's daughter.
Yes.
She's good family friends. She was at one of the WrestleManias. I think they do the Hall of Fame. So she was there. They bring all the families out. They really do it up. They bring. I mean, WrestleMania is like their holiday.
Yes.
And so they fly all the families in. Everyone's there, and it's like a big get together for them. And so they're hanging out with Vicky Guerrero, and let's just say everyone was a little toasty that night. Everyone had their drinks. The Hall of Fame was great. And so they're like out on the balcony. It's like her and Vicky and a couple of the other divas are out. They're like on the balcony, and they had been drinking. They're having fun. And she's literally yelling at the people walking down, "Excuse me!" And like...
That's funny.
So
that's funny.
Yeah, it's a great story. Just drunk Vicky Guerrero. Excuse me. It's good times. So that'll bring us to your number 10.
My number 10 is, you know what, man? And this is gonna sound a little racist, but I have good reason behind it. Okay. If you were a black wrestler
is one of two people
in the late 80s, early 90s, or you happened to be a white wrestler who was playing a black wrestler, this was your manager, man, and the dude was so freaking good on the microphone.
He was fantastic.
My number 10 is Slick.
Yeah.
I've always had kind of a little soft spot in my heart for Slick. He wasn't like the best manager in the world. He wasn't even...
He didn't get involved in the matches very often.
No, but
maybe
he was,
handing a prop, distracting the ref, but never physically involved.
Because
really.
he wasn't that kind of a manager. He was like the black Jim Cornette, I would go with, okay?
Yeah. Although Jim Cornette got involved quite a lot.
Yeah,
he had the
Jim
tennis
Cornette.
racket and everything.
You know what, dude? That guy's not even in my honorable mentions. That dude's in my dishonorable mentions.
Well, whatever. We'll
Fuck
get
that guy.
We might talk about him later.
I know we're probably going to because I fucking hate that guy. So, anywho, but yeah, man, Slick was just he was entertaining, man, and the dude could talk some shit. He definitely had that jive talk down.
Yeah.
And he, unfortunately, he was always booked as a stereotype, but I think it's actually because that's the way that dude was.
Oh, 100%. 100%. That is his personality.
I think that's his personality.
Yeah, because I know because Human Tornado actually got to do a show with him and Slick managed him. It was like one of those legend shows.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he's legit. That's the way he is.
Well, that's cool, man, because
really good dude.
I really, really like him. Like I said, he's definitely my number 10. So you're number 9.
My number 9, and this one I'm definitely going to have to tell a couple stories. And I probably have told few of these stories. I mean, over the years, I cannot sing the praises of this man enough. I actually got to manage him one time on a show, and it was fantastic. And, I mean, to this day, still I can message him on Facebook, and he'll message me back, and he calls my sister and his friends. But the genius, Lanny Poffo, is one of my favorite managers of all time. His run with Mr. Perfect, which led to him having a record-setting house with Hulk Hogan in a main event. And even the Beverly Brothers, the dude is legitimately a genius. He's like an idiot savant when it comes to poems.
Okay.
That's a shoot. Like he was sitting around the day we got to hang out with Lanny Poffo for like 12 hours straight.
That's awesome,
right,
dude? I'm a little jealous about that.
And literally, he was just like anything. Tell me anything. Like turtle. And he had a poem about it. He just off the top of his head, poems about a turtle. Like you literally could just give him a subject and he can come up with a poem off the top of his head. That was a shoot. That's real stuff.
That's actually pretty fucking
and he
cool.
turned it into the genius gimmick, and it was fantastic.
Well, and I heard Mr. Perfect really can throw himself touchdown passes, so we're good on that, right?
But yeah, managing him was great. It was cool to say I did that, but he went out of his way, above and beyond, to make sure that he talked to each and every single one of us after our match and didn't treat us like he was our superior, like we were just one of the boys.
That's awesome.
And he had more experience, so he wanted to impart experience on us.
Yeah.
And he gave us all pointers, and it didn't matter. I don't think anyone had a bad match because I had a pretty good crew going on back then.
Yeah.
But every match he went out of his way, pulled the guys off. Because basically it was one of those, we were outside on a baseball field, so we had a heel and a face locker room was what it amounted to, and he would just take guys out behind the snack bar so that no one could see him, and he was giving us pointers, and he really liked my sister because they spent a lot of time together because they were in a parade together, and then they were on the radio together promoting the show and all that stuff. And he got her booked in Canada and all that, but just the fact that he went out of his way to come. We're setting up the ring, and he walks right up and introduces himself and starts asking us questions about our personal life, like,
That's cool, dude.
And got to know my wife and my mom. It was just fantastic, and really one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life.
And I really liked him. He was basically the Damien Sandow before Damien Sandow was a thing.
And Damien Sandow did actually ask her permission to use it, and he said, well, it's not mine. I stole it anyway. So.
Yeah, but, for our younger listeners, because we do have a few.
Yes.
Those of you who don't know about the genius Lanny Poffo, go look up some of his shit. It's really entertaining.
Yes.
Especially when he was managing Mr. Perfect. I loved it.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely loved it. I thought that was
great.
such a good combination of people. My number 9, and this one's a little out of left field.
Okay.
But
I'm
like
intrigued.
I said, this is my list.
Yes.
This is my top 10. My number 9 made a really big impact in ECW in the latter years.
Okay.
Made a huge impact on Impact.
Okay.
In TNA.
Yeah.
In the beginning years.
Yes.
It's because of him we have Abyss. It's because of him we had Judas Macias. We had Raven's biggest angles in TNA. We have the tag team of Tajiri and Mikey Whipwreck and...
No, this is great. I'm glad he's on your list because I totally blanked on
You
him.
totally
and he's
blanked.
fantastic.
We are talking the Sinister Minister, James Mitchell.
Oh, he's so good.
He is just one of those, you could have put him with The Undertaker and Kane, and he would have been great with them, too.
He would have been great no matter who you put him
Exactly.
with. But you had to find someone that kind of fit his gimmick, you know.
Yeah.
But I think he's one of those guys I think you could have gave him any gimmick, and it would have been great.
Yeah, he's definitely one of them cats that he gets the performance aspect of our business.
And really theatrical, too.
Very.
Over the top. It's great.
He reminds me a lot of, I don't know how much you watch, Saturday afternoon old school horror flicks.
Go
We're
ahead
talking,
and talk about it. I'll see where we're at.
But he reminds me a lot of Sven Gulli.
Okay.
You know who Sven? He's like Elvira.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he's like on K-Doc. He's on the Dave Marquez network.
Yeah.
And he introduces the different little old school horror flicks, and we're talking like Plan 9 from Outer Space, old school.
Yes.
So, but that's kind of the vibe that Sinister Minister gives me. So
yeah, a little bit flamboyant and a little bit, but yeah, he's like who?
Anti-brother love.
No. A famous actor. You just reminded me. Oh God, who he reminds me of a little bit. The guy with the thin mustache. He was on Lonely Island.
Oh, John Waters. Yes, he does.
A little bit like that, but a little more badass.
Yes. So, yeah, my number 9, James Mitchell, the Sinister Minister, definitely the creepiest motherfucker on my list.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, no, I'm glad he was on your list. That's a really good one. I mean, because I did love his TNA stuff.
Yes.
I didn't. I mean, dude, I wish I could go back in like the one thing I would change if I could really go back as far as wrestling was I would have watched ECW when it was in its prime. I mean, it just that
You know
I
what,
totally
dude?
missed the boat.
Even the stuff that ECW had on what was it, TNN, the Spike TV network?
Yeah, but I didn't. I mean,
Yeah.
I never watched ECW until it was dead and buried. And then I started watching mixtapes and going, oh man,
Yeah.
ECW had some really good stuff. And then I watched like a couple pay-per-views and went, oh my God, why didn't I watch this?
Oh,
This
kicking
is
yourself
so
in the
much
head.
better than WCW and
It really,
Attitude Era.
really was. It so was. I mean, ECW brought around the Attitude Era.
it was the best product from like 95 to 2000. It
Yeah.
really was the best wrestling
Yeah.
product.
And if legit, if you wanted to watch good wrestling. So
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
brother. Number 8.
Number 8, and this one also has to do with a lot of stories that I know about the guy.
jeez.
I'm not going to tell any because
Okay.
I could ramble on for hours talking about Mr. Fuji, my number 8 wrestler. But yeah, again, that goes right back to my heyday of wrestling. Right when I started, and I was a super mark, was right before Yokozuna showed up.
Okay.
And so Mr. Fuji and the Bret Hart feud and Hogan and all that stuff was right in my wheelhouse. But I really loved going back. The Powers of Pain
Yes.
were fantastic.
Yes.
And Mr. Fuji with the salt and everything. But going back even further,
Powers
watching
of Pain, the Warrior,
the
Warlord, and the Barbarian. Yes.
But going back even further, if you watch Mr. Fuji's wrestling, he was fantastic as a heel. He was so good. And
Mr. Fuji and Mr.
yeah.
Saito.
And he was one of those guys that, at least the matches I saw was probably a little later in his wrestling career. He didn't do a lot, but he was so good with the crowd and so good at
Yeah.
being sneaky cheat and that smile on his face.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
it's-
best smiling heel ever. I love that, man. I love it.
One of my favorite little Fuji moments was, I want to say it was WrestleMania 4 or WrestleMania 5. It was one of the ones from the Trump Plaza in Atlantic
Okay,
City.
yeah.
So it was
Trump
either
was
4
5
or
and 6. I think
5 and 6. Okay,
I
then
think. No, because 6 was Ultimate Warrior in
it was in Toronto.
yeah. So yeah, I think 4 or
It-
5.
it
I
was-
think you're right.
It was
4 or
either
5.
4 or 5. Mr. Fuji had entered into the marathon.
Oh yeah.
And while everybody else is running in the marathon, Fuji jumps into a rickshaw.
Yeah.
And wins.
Yeah.
He doesn't win, but he comes in at a really fast time.
Yes.
And it just, that was one of my favorite little Fuji
Cheating
moments.
to the end, no matter what he's
Exactly.
doing. Yeah, amazing.
And then another little spot, and it really had nothing to do with Fuji, but when DX came back,
okay.
and they were doing the DX barbecue outside, and to get Shawn Michaels to go away so that he could bang Candice Michelle, Triple H is like, hey, look, there's Mr. Fuji. And then, or he goes, hey, isn't that Mr. Fuji? And then Shawn goes, I love Mr. Fuji.
Yeah,
And then he
yeah,
runs away.
I remember that.
And had nothing to do with Fuji, but he was brought up, and it's another little thing that makes me remember.
The DX PG run is one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life.
I love it.
I honestly think I enjoyed that more than the original DX Heart run when it was totally pushing the envelope. I mean, that was like, business changing, whatever.
Yeah.
But the comedy,
Yes.
it's
Oh,
one of my
the-
favorite things ever.
when-
And really, I think it's the last time I watched Monday Night Raw religiously because I wanted to see DX. It was really good. And that stuff
When
with the Spirit Squad.
They were doing their shit with the McMahons.
Yes.
Like when they came out and parodied the McMahons
when they wrestled God.
before
Oh
it
my
was
God.
after that.
So good. That's like my favorite thing. Vince McMahon wrestled God. I'm like, yes.
So when Triple H comes out dressed as McMahon or Vince, and Shawn comes out dressed as Shane, and he's doing little fucking dance.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, it's me, your son, Shane McMahon, the product of your semen. I legit spit taked on that. So let's go ahead and get back.
That was
to
my number 8.
the
So
little
we're on
list.
your number 8.
My number 8 is a part of the Axis of Evil. There was the 3 managers back in what many consider the heyday of wrestling.
Yes.
You had the Grand Wizard.
Yes.
You had Mr. Pencil Neck Geek himself. Classy Freddie Blassie. But my number 8 is the third guy. The often imitated, never replicated, who also went on to be the host of one of my favorite childhood shows.
Yes. I'm glad he's on your list.
Okay. One of my favorite manager of the Head Shrinkers, and part of a really good tag team back in the 70s, the Sicilians, Captain Lou Albano.
Yes. Well, his first managing was the original Samoans, the Wild Samoans, and that's where he really made it big. And I'm glad you mentioned the golden age of those guys, because I was hoping they weren't going to get forgot on this list.
They're totally not.
None of them made my list, but they're on my paper because I do want to talk about them, because like the Grand Wizard basically was the beginning of the golden age of managers. He was like the first guy. I mean,
super
he was
flamboyant.
But with superstar Billy Graham. To me, the guy who changed the business forever. I mean, like it was basically Gorgeous George. I mean, he changed the business forever.
Yes,
he's the one who said this is heels and face. This is bad guys versus good guys, and I'm going to be an over the top bad guy. And then Billy Graham was the one who took it to another level, where he made it bad guys can be kind of cool. But at the same time, we hate them. And the Grand Wizard was a big part of that. So I'm glad we're talking about. But Captain Lou also played a big part in the rock and wrestling connection.
He did.
And he was a huge part in
and I wanted to talk about that because Cyndi Lauper, obviously, if you've ever seen the Girls Just Want to Have Fun video or the Time After Time video, Captain Lou plays Cyndi Lauper's father in that. He was also a big part of WrestleMania 1 when Cyndi Lauper came in. If you can't tell, I love Cyndi Lauper. She's one of my favorite artists of all time.
Great, she has a great voice.
Oh, man.
Really
Time
great,
After Time is my
strong
all-time
voice,
favorite song. So, yeah, he had a lot to do with that. He also played Mario in the Mario Brothers Super Show, which has a lot, which really does have a lot to do with him being on my top 10. Because that was like legit my favorite show growing up.
My kids love that show.
I bought it for Luke and Lily on DVD. So,
yeah, me too.
So that's mine.
Good transition there. Good transition.
Yeah, sorry, not steering it very well.
No,
tonight.
it's okay. No, we're doing great.
Yeah, so my number 8, Captain Lou Albano, and your number 7.
Bringing us to number 7, and you're probably going to be surprised he's not higher on my list because he managed the greatest of all time. But he managed a lot of guys. I mean, if at the end of your career you could say I managed Bret the Hitman Hart and Hulk Hogan, you have a pretty top list there. I mean, there's not many other guys that can stack up to the talent that he managed. But another guy that really changed the business because he had a big megaphone. And as the heel, oh man, you talk about, I mean, and he's got that squeaky, annoying little voice. And when he's just screaming on that megaphone and he's got the bells going, and I mean, I mean, he managed the Rougeos, who were just obnoxious to begin with too. But then when he managed the Mountie, is maybe one of the most obnoxious things ever because both of them have that kind of voice. Of course, I'm talking about the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. I
love Jimmy Hart. You know what, dude? And you're gonna smack me on this one. I didn't even put him on my list.
That's okay.
I did not do it for a couple of different reasons.
He managed Bret Hart.
No, actually,
just to spite me,
didn't even come into play. I actually had him pretty high up on my list, but then I remembered another certain very important manager on my list. So I'm like, sorry, Jimmy, you get knocked.
And so you dropped him like all the way from the top half of your list to off
your
list?
He wasn't top. He wasn't top half of the list.
But he was hanging around the bottom of your 10, and then you remembered somebody.
Yeah, I did, and the other person had way more of an impact on why I love managers.
Gotcha.
And just a little tip for any of the boys out there that happen to be listening: I am available for managerial services.
Nice.
And you know what, dude? I really do want to break into managing. I think that would be a really good role for me to play in the business now.
It's a lot of fun, man.
I bet.
It really is a lot of fun, just screaming and yelling and being a dick.
But back over to the Mouth of the South, man. To me, he was great. He exemplified what an annoying shithole manager should be.
Oh yeah.
Plus, he had a big impact in behind the scenes. He did a lot of WWE's music, wrote a lot of
Yes.
WWE's music at that time.
He wrote Bret the Hitman Hart's
Yes,
music.
the
Yeah.
which when we did our little music show, I brought up Bret Hart
Cool.
because I do to this day love Bret Hart's music. He
Oh,
has
it was great.
That
It was
guitar
so
riff
great.
at the very beginning of Bret Hart's music lets you know who was coming down and what kind of an attitude he had. So I will always put Bret Hart's music in probably my. Sorry,
That's
Getting a
all
li-
right.
Getting a little choked up. No, he'll definitely be in my top 3 music wise, and guaranteed within this year we are going to do a top 10 music.
That's a good one.
In fact, we'll probably end up doing it the second week of January because that's when I think we'll all be here again.
Nice.
I almost let something slip just now. Totally going to wait until the end of the show for that. We do have a huge announcement at the end of the show. Something that's going to kind of tweak our show in the new year. So please stay with us until the end. Just like a great Marvel movie, there might be a little hidden credit scene. So so go ahead. Your number 7.
Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart.
We're on
that's
your
right.
number
We're
7.
on my number 7. My number 7 is another one of those annoying fucking
Nice.
heel managers. One of my favorites because he managed several different people in ECW pretty much at the same time. He was like a stable leader with the classic form of the stable leader.
Yeah.
The manager who managed a bunch of different dudes who happened to come together a couple of times.
Oh, super annoying. Another guy that slipped my mind, but I'm glad he's on
super
here.
fucking annoying because of the goddamn whistle.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
whistle. But it worked. And he had an annoying fucking voice too.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad we both have our gimmick guys right at the same spot.
I absolutely love Bill Alfonso.
Yeah, he was great. He really was.
He's also a part of one of my favorite bloody fucking matches.
Oh, yeah.
Him versus Beulah McGillicuddy. And basically the premise behind that match, not the storyline, but the actual behind the scenes is Bill Alfonso was helping WCW raid talent.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yes. He was tired of doing it.
Yeah. Because he worked with WCW first before he went over. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a referee in WCW. He came over to ECW, and he was basically helping out the talent raid a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was one of the feelers, basically.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman caught word of it, and he's like, "Hey, you're going to be in this match, and you're not going to get 3 moves in offensively. Beulah, it'll be against Beulah. So not only are you getting your ass kicked, but you're getting your ass kicked by a girl in front of a Philadelphia crowd.
Nice.
And it's not a chick who's really known for being hardcore.
No, not at all.
So yeah, and for a good 10 minutes, she just fucks his world up.
Good.
And delivers probably one of the prettiest pile drivers I've ever seen.
Well, Beulah is pretty to begin with.
Yeah,
so.
she's gorgeous. She was like definitely my ECW crush. So any good memories of Fonzie? I mean, he managed
Sabu, and RVD.
Taz, RVD, Mikey
So
Whipwreck, fucking cat.
That was
hit myself
awesome.
in the face. Cactus Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, the fucking Public Enemy.
Yeah.
He managed the who's who of ECW. That's all there is to it.
How shitty is that they give you this gimmick and letting you basically be their top heel, one of their top heels, and you're like trying to screw their company over the whole time? That's amazing.
Yeah. So I mean,
like I said, I really missed the boat on ECW, but I've watched a lot. I've caught up a lot, especially on the top stuff, and he really was great.
If you get a chance, pick up. And it's a WWE produced one because it was after the fact, but get ECW's Bloodiest Matches.
Okay.
I think that one is like number 1 or 2, but there are some amazing matches.
Yeah, some Tommy Dreamer, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely Tommy Dreamer. Shit, dude, get the Rise and Fall of ECW too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, really good.
But you know,
I will
to
say
be fair,
WWE, their shoot, you know, their stuff. I mean, their docus are really, really good.
Yes, they
they're
are.
really. I mean, when it comes down to it, they know how to tell stories, and they just. I think they just get caught up from week to week and, and screw it up. But I mean, they when they put their mind to it, they're really good at telling a story.
Those ECW. I mean, I grew up tape trading the fuck for ECW tapes. I love ECW. We could sit down. I could literally sit down for 3 weeks straight and talk about ECW stuff.
Yeah,
because they are the ones that gave my boy his big shot in the big three.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, I mean that's the house that Jericho built. Jericho his 6 months and decent title reign.
Oh, so. Yeah, because you knew he was getting talent rated immediately.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, come on. The dude is certified fucking future Hall of Famer.
Oh,
so.
I mean, yeah.
All right, brother. Go ahead. Number 6.
Yeah, my number 6, and this one I had to go with just historical meaning. And, I mean, he was the manager of the greatest group of all time. The guy that put factions on the map. The group, you know, most people, when you go back, they're going to say the Four Horsemen are the best faction group, whatever. And J.J. Dillon was the manager behind that. Well, I mean, what a great group. What a really great group. One of my favorite shoot interview moments, I was watching J.J. Dillon talking about it. And when he first started managing, he was still having matches every now and then, and he'd go out and have these matches, and because he was a worker, he was a good worker,
great one.
But he'd go out and have his match and just have a regular wrestling match, and nobody really gave a shit, and he was kind of frustrated or whatever because the fans didn't really get behind it, and one of the boys pulled him aside and said, "Look, dude, nobody's coming here to watch a manager wrestle. They don't care. You go out there and you're wrestling a match." You're a manager. Wrestle like a manager. Be a big pussy. Don't get in there and they don't care if you do that. Run, hide, act scared, and then when they finally get you, you know, Bobby Heenan was the best at it.
Oh, dude,
the best.
Weasel.
Yeah,
I loved that match.
And
we'll talk about that more later.
Once he had that put in his head, it took off. He became that pussy heel manager, and it was great.
Fuck, man. See, I want to talk about J.J. Dillon some more because we got a first overlap.
Oh, good.
But it's not yet. It's not yet. We'll kind of gloss over mine, and there's a lot of historical significance on this one. She is probably the most famous valet manager of all time. You say women in wrestling, she is the first one that pops into your mind. Yeah. If it's not Lita.
Yeah, I think we're heading towards some more overlap.
I knew we were going to on this one.
That's okay,
because this is the reason why we went ahead and made it valet/manager.
Yeah,
or manager/valet. Miss Elizabeth. I mean,
yeah.
You think a manager, you think a valet, that she's the first one you think of.
She was like really the first lady of wrestling because she was they cast her, she was so classy when she was in WWE. She was like, she was more like a princess than, and I mean, I cannot rave enough about Tuesday in Texas. Watch the gimmick after the match with Jake, what she does with Jake. And it is one of the most realistic things I've ever seen on a wrestling show ever. That wasn't just a match. I mean, he smacked her. He smacked her good. I mean, it was looking like some legit abuse stuff going on there, and it was a really, really well done segment. Like, please go back and watch that if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I was thinking of a different female, so our lists are going to be interesting here in a little bit.
Oh, I've got she's one of 2 females on my list.
I have 2 on my list too,
and
we've already gone over Vicky Guerrero.
Ones.
No, I started with Vicky. So yeah, Miss Elizabeth was written down on my list, but I just. Yeah, the historical thing. I mean, they had the real wedding. It was and it was one of the first legit.
They had the real wedding 3 years after they were actually married.
Well, I know that, but it was one of the.
Actually, I think it was a year after they had already divorced.
It was a serious moment in. I mean, because Randy Savage went full heel and was evil, right? I mean, he was full evil, and Miss Elizabeth was his redemption story.
Yes.
And brought him back to being the lovable guy that we all loved before, who was Hogan's best friend and all that stuff. And without
but
that,
the jealousy got to the Macho Man.
Yeah, exactly. But then when they do the "Will you marry me" gimmick, and she says yes, and it's like a legit moment when you're watching a show and you're crying,
gives you
and
the
think,
feels.
Yeah, exactly. And that doesn't happen all that often when you have a genuine moment.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because you could see in Macho Man's reaction was legit. I mean, even I know, obviously they were already married and everything, but still, it was really great. And then they actually had the wedding, and I think it might have been one of the only times the wedding didn't get totally screwed up. Yeah,
it wasn't until the reception.
Yeah.
Fucking Jake the Snake, damn you. But yeah, man. I mean, shit, we're not even to the 40-minute mark yet, and we're already to number 5.
Well, let's go ahead and we can take a break, and then we'll get into our top 5 after the break.
Let me see if
is our engineer ready?
Is there any way we can break real quick right now? And
yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool.
All right.
When we come back, we're gonna get to our top 5. Hopefully, we'll have a caller. I know that Cole was setting that up real quick. And our big announcement,
yes,
our
sir.
change in 2017. No, 2016 did not kill another celebrity on our show.
Yet.
Who knows? Cole may have a heart attack on the break. We don't know. All right, everybody, give us a call. Let us know your favorite managers. 909-360-8330. Heel Talk Radio.
Wanna shake up the status quo, rock the boat, break a few eggs?
Well, you've come to the right place. ChaoticRadio.com.
This show is glorious.
Yes, it is.
I will never not like that song.
I know.
I mean, and the fact that we got to actually see that live finally
and be a part of the singing.
Oh my God, it was so fun. So good. Welcome back to Heel Talk Radio. I'm your host, Jeff Maverick. Sorry, I had to go into like old school mode there for a second.
That's okay.
We're talking about our favorite managers / valets, and we are gonna we're gonna get back to that, but our big announcement that we were gonna have at the end of the show, apparently we're gonna have to do right now because we have a caller. So let me go ahead and make sure that this here phone is unmuted and he is turned up. You got him on? Hey,
Yo.
Mr. Kilborn.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm fantastical. I'm in the process of buying my wife a car. Well, I
Nice.
just bought my wife a car.
Nice.
What kind of car?
Yeah. I'm 2017 Toyota Camry.
Dude, you're on the radio. Lie. You just bought your wife a new Corvette with your millions of dollars because you're the champ and...
Oh, no. I'm a responsible adult that goes for performance and mileage.
Okay.
That's why I also drive a Camry.
And
There
you
you
know
go,
what?
sir.
I drive a Solara.
Yeah, there
so
you go.
Toyota
Hey.
hooking it up.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's get down to brass tacks here, because you guys are talking about managers and valets, right? I want in on this.
so wait, you're gonna crash our top 10 list? You think you get that power? Let me. You
Hey.
know what, Ron? Let me go ahead and make my announcement real quick, and
Go ahead.
then we will let you go ahead and break in.
I want to hear this announcement.
I know you do. It pertains to you, you big lug.
Very exciting.
Oh, yay.
Coming up in 2017,
Starting next week.
starting next week, because Cole's a dipshit and he's going to a Lakers game. No. Starting in 2017, we are going from a 2-man crew to a 3-man crew, and Mr. Ron Kilborn is going to be our third co-host.
Yes, you heard it here. I'll be Ron the Air permanently.
Yes.
I knew he wrote something for this.
Nice.
Fucker. So, Ron, man, congratulations. Welcome to the show officially. I know you've been really good about being our cover guy when Cole's been gone or I've been gone, and I've been thinking about it for a couple of months now, and after hearing both of you guys on air last night without me chiming in too much, you guys sounded great, and I just wanted to formally invite you onto the show and be a co-host.
Well, the invitation has been gladly accepted.
All right, Ron, go ahead and shoot, man. Managers and valets.
All right, managers and valets. Well, I want to hear, just quickly, you guys are top 10. Go.
Well, we've
we're-
got
we've-
10 through 6 is where we are now.
Oh, you're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
crashing it.
Oh, yeah,
You
you're
are
way
totally
early.
crashing it.
I'm just going to give you my quick top 10, and then I'm going to bounce. But
Okay.
then, starting next year, it'll be full time.
Yes, sir. It'll be me and you next week. So,
Oh, delicious.
yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm going to love that one. So, all right,
right.
10. All right, let's get your top 10.
All right. I'm not even going to go with reasons. You're just going to hear them and eat it.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So, number 10, Bill Alfonso.
That
Yes.
was my number 7. Go.
Number 9, Vicky Guerrero.
She
Yep.
was my number 10.
Go.
Number 8, Sensational Sherry.
Nice.
Good one.
Number 7, Senor Fuji.
Yeah, my number 8. We've
There you
talked
go.
about him.
Number 6, Theodore DiBiase.
Ted
Okay.
DiBiase. Fantastic.
No, number 5, Paul Bearer. Number 4, Jim Cornette.
Oh, fuck that guy. Go ahead.
Number 3, Jimmy Hart.
Nice.
Okay.
Number 2, Paul Heyman.
All right.
Number 1, Bobby Heenan.
Nice. Great
Solid
list.
Solid.
All right,
Well,
Ron.
gentlemen, I am Outski. I will see you next week.
All
Mr.
right,
Jeff.
sir.
Have fun going to LAX.
Oh, I will.
Good luck on that one.
All right. You guys take it sleazy.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye.
How the fuck do I?
Good times. Good times. Yes.
If
I'm really glad. I was really glad that.
Oh, that's right. I can't hang up because I'm not the one that physically took the call. He did. All right. Cool beans. All right, everybody. There's our new co-host, Ron Kilborn. I can't wait to mix it up with him next week.
Yeah.
Wow. I got to do like 3-man production meetings now. I got to text both of you fuckers.
Well, I think this was kind of a byproduct of the fact that we all have jobs and real lives, and
Yeah.
and hopefully 2 of us can be here every week, and maybe
Yes.
maybe not all 3 of us.
Well, you know what, man? It's going to be fun because Ron's super knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, now we were talking about it earlier. I have somebody else on this show that likes our intro music.
Well, I think I was thinking about it too when I was trying to sell you on the idea a little bit.
Okay.
It adds. I think it's a really good balance because
Yeah.
Ron loves everything, like almost too nice.
Yes.
Like he loves everything wrestling related,
Yeah.
and which is great because I mean, I don't want to say I'm like bitter to the business, but I've got a little bit of that
You're fucking
cynical.
jaded.
Yeah,
is
I mean
what
a
it
little
is.
bit, and I don't want to say jaded so much as I'm just at this point I've taken in so much knowledge of what things I like, and when I see shit that I just doesn't work anymore, that's not there, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest about it, and so I'm no fucks given.
Yeah.
And Ron is like super fucks given about everything,
About everything,
and then
yeah.
you're just like the sane person. That's
I'm just like,
so I think it added.
It's like, Cole's being a dick. Ron's being cool. Y'all are both fucking nuts. So, all right, man. We already talked about my number 5. He was your number 6, James J. Dillon.
Yeah.
Can't say enough about the guy. Fun little fact about J.J. Dillon is he's got a hump.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like legit. And I guess he fell on it one time
Oh.
and dislocated it and just never
Yeah,
got it fixed. So
yeah.
So, yeah, my number 5 is probably the greatest faction manager of all time. So, there we go. Oh, what's Ron texting you?
Oh, no,
now?
it's my wife.
Oh.
It's my wife.
Yeah, and she ain't
She's
listening.
No, she is.
Is
and that's
she
why,
really?
Yeah,
Holy
she's been
fuck.
listening for the last few weeks. Because,
Oh, man. So we
yeah,
gotta,
we got another listener. Look at that. We got my wife to listen. That's
I
fantastic.
love your
So,
wife.
Yeah.
If polygamy was legal, I'm telling you. Like,
Well,
she's
you know.
awesome, dude. Like, I can't say enough about your family. They're Ducks fans.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that right there, they're my family now. So,
But my number 5 was actually the same as Ron's. I've got Paul Bearer as my number 5 because really, what can you not say about Percy Pringle? Because even before he got the Paul Bearer gimmick, he was a great manager down south. You know, the Percy Pringle was fantastic. But I mean, another guy with the kind of high pitched, whiny voice. But it was
well. Sorry,
I can't hear anymore.
I
But
know.
okay.
That's the
Yeah,
power of the Pringle.
Exactly. But I mean, he was fantastic. I mean, because
Yeah.
in the early stages of the Undertaker, he needed a mouthpiece for the gimmick because he was basically a zombie.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so it was really great, and he got it so over. And then when they brought Kane in, oh my God, he was so great in that. And even some of his work, I know a lot of our friends got to work with him at Championship
Yeah,
Wrestling from Hollywood, and
Eric.
he was fantastic.
Yeah, Watts. Watts was under his tutelage for a while. Wasn't Morgan?
Yeah,
Morgan.
I know he got to work, and I've got
and-
nothing but glowing reviews from all these guys about what kind of person he is and how much he loved the business. And
My favorite guy that he managed, other than the guys in the WWE, is Sean Ricker.
mm-hmm.
And he was with Ricker. Ricker was his protege, probably his last one.
Yeah.
Like right when he passed away.
Yeah,
And you really got to give a lot of credit to Marquez, and and
Oh, yeah.
hear me out.
No.
Okay.
I don't hate the guy. Like, it's fine. I like what
Okay.
he's. Go ahead.
Okay. Dave Marquez does a tournament every year now.
Yeah, I
called
was
the-
gonna say the same
yeah,
thing. So I'm glad
Percy
you're right.
Pringle, the PP3 tournament. Percy
Yeah.
Pringle the third.
The cup. Yeah, the
The
Percy
cup.
Pringle Cup. Yeah.
Couple guys we know have won it. You know, a lot of people we know have won it. But you know, it's something that Dave did to honor Percy Pringle. And yeah, man. I mean, you know what? Percy's actually a little farther up on my list than yours. Though.
Hey, that's all right. I mean, he was there. I mean, I was jockeying around the top of my list. He was right there, anywhere between 3 and 5. He was going to be there for me. So
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he got a slash on mine
okay.
because he kind of tied with another person, and
all right.
I wanted to put them both at the same.
Oh, do
spot.
you have an 11-person top 10 list?
I do.
Nice.
I do.
I thought
to.
about it
I
because this
had
is one
to.
of those. It's tough. It really is tough.
It is
whittling out.
My number. We're up to number 4.
Yeah, we are.
So it's
we are.
your number 4.
Yes, it is, and this is where I have the second lady making an appearance on my list, and because for me, she just full on was one of the best managers. Period. Regardless of gender, she got involved in so many matches, and she had a great run in WWE with Randy Savage, and then she had a great run in WCW with Harlem Heat, and is a part of one of the best flubbed promos of all time when Booker T goes, Hulk Hogan, we're coming for you, nigga. And then like immediately you could see in his face, oh shit, I realized what I just said, and Sherry's just laughing her balls off. But Sensational Sherry is one of the greatest managers
Dude.
ever, period.
The first time we have had the same manager in the same spot.
Nice.
My number 4, Sensational Sherry. She was great with Savage. She was great with the Harlem Heat, which it was one of my favorites. But I loved her when she was with the Sexy Boy. With Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
At
she
the
got that
beginning of
so
his-
over.
She was the first one to sing his music.
Oh yeah.
She was, and when Kurt Angle brought her back,
Oh yeah.
when he sang,
Oh.
when he sang the song, man, Sherry
So good.
and Sherry above Miss Elizabeth.
Oh, by far.
She was the first female wrestler / manager that I had these super hots for.
Oh yeah.
And she, you know, when she would wear the makeup on the side of her face, it kind of
Oh,
looked
yeah.
like lightning bolts or whatever. You know, dude, she was, oh man,
But
so sexy.
one of the things that outside the ring, what I really love about Sherry is that she's one of the few women maybe in the history of the business. I know it was a little different like in Moolah's day, but she was one of the boys legitimately, and they accepted her as their equal because she was so good at what she did.
Well, and she was a very accomplished wrestler in her own right, too.
Oh yeah, she was one of the few girls back in it before, you know,
Glow.
Yeah, well, yeah, but she was one of the few women that ever rivaled Moolah. Actually, was there, and people thought maybe we're gonna take the title off of her.
And yeah, man, I mean, I loved watching. Now, I never got to watch her wrestle because by the time I was into wrestling, and she was already manager Sherry. She wasn't really wrestling.
Well,
anymore.
she had injury problems, and that's what she kind of settled in on managing. But she was really good in AWA.
Damn, dude, she
really
was so
good.
Like one of the best managers ever. I mean, obviously.
Oh, but I'm talking about her in-ring work.
Yeah.
Get some of her
Yeah.
AWA stuff. She was really, really good.
Yeah, well, she made AWA kind of destination television because, dude, that shit was boring. Like really, like legit.
Yeah.
When Scott Hall is like your most exciting person, and he wasn't exciting at that time. He was a big cowboy looking
But he
motherfucker.
was really good. He was so good in the ring. His matches were incredible. But, I mean, Kurt Hennig was there, too. And Kurt Hennig is super entertaining. And Stan Hansen. I mean, they had a lot of guys who were really good. But at the top, they were top heavy. Once you got down the card,
they
once
had
the
no
Rockers,
enhancement.
the Rockers passed through there. I mean, AWA had a hard time, but that was what Vince McMahon was bleeding the business dry anyway.
Yeah.
So that's I mean, it was
So
tough, but
both of our number 4, Sensational Sherry, Scary Sherry Martel.
yep.
I loved her.
I know.
God, I loved her.
We're not going to agree on number 3. I know.
No,
for
my
an
number
absolute
3 is
fact.
my Slash.
Okay. Oh, so you got 2 people, and I still don't think we're going to agree.
Let's hear yours.
This is I really legitimately considered making this my number 1, like mostly to get back at you for Crash Holly last week, but also because he's one of my favorite people in the history of the wrestling business.
Is it Typhoid Teddy?
No,
Okay.
It's not Teddy, but it is. I mean, one of my favorite shoot interview guys of all time. He's made basically a second career on just shoot interviews, and he's totally doing a gimmick now. Like he's totally doing a gimmick.
if it's who I think you're saying it is, then yeah, no, I'm gonna disagree.
Yeah.
with
Well,
you.
no, you're just mad because he's absolutely right 99% of the time.
No, I'm
but
mad
he's
because
still
he's a
being an
fucking
old,
asshole.
He's still being an old fuddy-duddy to a certain degree, but he's right when he says that Superkick Kid made the Bucks look weak. Jim Cornette is absolutely my number 3 manager of all time.
Fuck Jim Cornette. Fuck him in his stupid dirty ass.
Oh yeah.
You know what the best part of Jim Cornette is?
What's that?
The scaffold match where he blew out his knees.
Oh, yeah, that
because
was
Big
amazing.
Bubba Rogers couldn't fucking catch him.
Well, yeah, that plus he actually at least had the balls to get up there and do it, unlike Paul Heyman who pussed out. But Jim Cornette was another guy who was fantastic when it was time for him to get his comeuppance. He sold his ass off and was great at doing the pussy heel
You
thing.
may as
but
well
he
have
got
put fucking Brother Love right there, dude.
No, but you know what's
'Cause you
funny?
gave
I
up-
don't know why, but the Sinister Minister reminded me of Brother Love, and I just jotted him down. I don't know how the hell I
That's
got
because
from him.
I said that.
Oh, you said
We
Brother
were-
Love?
I said, yeah, he was the anti-Brother Love.
Oh, okay, I missed you say that, but
Oh, okay.
but yeah, I mean, for me, Jim Cornette was fantastic on the mic. I mean, really one of the best spoken guys in the history of the business, one of the best promo guys ever. And I know you got heat with him because you know he said the thing your son did was stupid.
No.
but
Not the fact that he said the thing was stupid. Because in essence, yes, it was. It was dumb, but it was fun for my kid.
well, but and it was fun for the people
It
that
was-
were there, and
oh,
it was
dude,
fun
and my
for the
kid got a
internet.
huge fucking pop.
Here's all that matters. Did it get over? Did it get?
Oh.
Did it get?
Viral.
Yeah, exactly. It went viral, and it was on TV shows. And did it
Luke-
get that promotion noticed? Yes.
Luke was signing autographs at NXT.
Nice.
So that was kind of
Well,
cool.
but okay, to be fair as well, Jim Cornette also shits all over what my sister's doing. So like,
well, as well
I
as
can-
should. She's the drizzling shits, man. That chick fucking
yeah,
sucks.
no,
Yeah,
but
right.
not her, but
No.
intergender wrestling.
Yeah.
But Jim Ross also doesn't get it. You know,
Yeah.
but Jim Ross at least will give a little wiggle room. It's like, look, if it's getting over and it's putting butts in
Dude,
seats,
Jim
it's
Ross
fine, but it's
loves
not
your
for
fucking
me.
sister.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've
he
never
does.
heard him say anything good about my sister.
You've never heard him say anything about your sister. But yeah, dude, I guarantee you Jim Ross loves your sister
No,
because she's good for business.
He hates intergender wrestling. He doesn't get it. It's not believable for him. He shits all over Sexy Star.
Well, you
and
wanna hear
what they're
something?
doing there, but
a guy I work with can't play video games as a female character. He can't do it.
Okay.
Because it's not believable to him. He likes to immerse himself in the experience, and he can't do that as a female
that's
character.
just it. What I here's the thing with Jim Cornette and why he gets a lot of heat because he's super old school, thinks that we should make wrestling real and that kayfabe should be a thing, and that's fine. But like, did you watch Lucha Underground this week? No, you missed it. It's one of the best episodes ever.
I'm going to watch it because I hear the Cage and
Cage and
Texano
it was
match
great. It
fucking
was really
phenomenal.
great. Well, they had 2 matches, which was a great swerve. They're doing a best of 5
Yeah.
series. They finished their first match and tied it up at 2, and then the guy, I can't remember his name, comes out and says, "Oh, we're gonna have the finals right now." And basically the
Puerto?
yeah, and it was really really good. It was a
Okay.
really well done match.
I'll have to check it out
But-
because I love Brian Cage.
But Jim Cornette, he's just riding that line, and I think a bit of it is a gimmick. A bit of it is just a gimmick to get people because he knows it's over. People listening to him rant
Well,
and bitch
he
about
thought
stuff.
he
but
had a gimmick going with the Bucks, and the Bucks had legit heat with him.
yeah, and which is why I think he's working a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's if you're going to do that, you got to let the other guys know that you're going to do it and
Right.
maybe say like, hey, I want to do this. Are you guys okay with it? But they know he didn't like him because he kind of pushed him out of Ring of Honor anyway. But
Yeah.
it's the balance between whether it should be real and whatever. And in my opinion, the toothpaste is out of the tube. It's not going back in. It's a show. No one questions Wonder Woman fighting Doom. No one said, oh, this movie's
No.
stupid because, no, she's a superhero. Fuck it.
Yeah. All right. So my number 3. This is my Slash. And we're not talking Guns N' Roses.
No.
We're talking.
I'm intrigued.
And what's funny is they both have the same name. My number 3 is Paul Ellering.
Yeah, I knew he would make your list.
Okay.
He was on my honorable mentions, but go ahead.
Paul Ellering, because he managed my all-time favorite tag team.
Yeah.
And not just managed them on TV. He was
Yeah.
their legit manager.
Yeah.
Made their itineraries and managed their books and everything.
Because Hawk and Animal
Because they ain't gonna fucking
they
do
needed a
nothing.
guy. Yeah.
They did. They needed a brain, basically. And they said that.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in one of their promos. You got 4 of the biggest arms in the business and a brain. Paul Ellering literally put on the best eloquently spoken promos out there. Like on par with
Oh
Lanny
yeah.
Poffo.
Yeah.
It
Which
he
you
got-
needed with the incessant ramblings of the other two
the
guys.
other two
Yeah.
guys, exactly. So Paul Ellering is my number 3, but at the same time, the Slash, boom, boom, right there, Paul Bearer.
There you go.
Because I mean, dude, he's fucking Paul Bearer.
Yeah.
If he's not on your top 5, get the fuck out of wrestling. Seriously. So yeah, man, I love Paul Bearer. I did get to meet him.
Cool. I'm glad.
I went down to one of like the red carpet rumble for
Yeah.
Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. And if you guys ever get a chance to get out to the Oceanside Arena and check it out, it is a free show and you get to see a lot of our friends wrestle. So
Yeah.
do that.
And watch their show on TV. Go ahead. Have fun with that.
You're better off just going to the show. I'm serious, man. Like the live show itself is really good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
there's
because
a
it's
lot of
not
really-
just the TV taping. You get
Yeah.
extra matches and that kind of thing.
Yeah, you know, and Marquez, to his credit, man, he can book some decent talent. So, but yeah, so Paul Bearer, I got to meet him once and seemed like the nicest dude in the world. So,
Oh, yeah.
so that's,
Nothing but glowing reviews about
Yeah.
the guy.
yeah. So that's my number 3. Now we're getting into the big ones, man.
Oh, yeah. And I think we're going on a run of Paul's right now is what's happening.
Okay, so you know what? Our top 3 are the
Our top 2 and 1 are going to be the same.
The exact
yeah,
same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive.
So let's go ahead and let's say our number 2 at the same time.
Paul.
One. Well, they already knew it was
Go
a
ahead.
Paul. So
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Paul
E.
Heyman.
Dangerously.
that's what I have written down.
Paul Heyman is just, dude. It's hard to say that there's anyone better than him, but there is one.
There's one.
Yeah, but
absolutely one manager better than Paul Heyman. And
but for Paul Heyman has been relevant since the 80s. I mean, he has been basically managing and booking ECW, but he's been relevant since the
Yeah.
80s, and he's great.
Paulie Dangerously in the NWA territories, WCW, Jim Crockett Promotions,
Memphis.
Memphis. I mean, and the Paul E. Dangerously character
Yeah.
was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was that snotty heel agent. He was an agent.
Yeah,
he wasn't
did.
a
He had the
manager.
old school cell phone.
The
Remember
big
the
old
old school
brick.
cell phone? Yeah.
He had the suspenders and
Yeah.
the fucking Miami Vice
Yeah.
cuffed up suit.
Yeah, just
which
an
was-
obnoxious yuppie guy,
yeah,
you know.
and it was a great character. And honestly, he had
His
the best
stable, man.
talent before they were the best.
Yeah.
He was one of Stone Cold's managers.
Yep.
He was
Stunning Steve.
he was Stunning Steve's manager. He was Cactus Jack's manager. He was, I mean, dude has
To me, it's almost like he really did get to handpick the guys he wanted to work with. And I think as much he said as much, like he'd push hard, like he pushed hard for Austin. He wanted to
Yeah.
work with Austin and Mick Foley and all those guys.
and now he's the advocate for the one behind the 1 and 21 and 1. Dude, you know what, man? Because you know Brock can't fucking talk.
Yes.
He's tried.
My name?
My name is Brock Lesnar.
Well, no, Paul Heyman. My name is Paul Heyman. I love that he does that like every promo.
dude,
like he needs to reintroduce himself.
I don't care, man. You could give
Oh,
that
no,
guy
it's
a
great.
microphone
Yeah.
for an hour and I can listen to
Yeah,
him.
he cut a 30-minute promo on a chair.
He
in the
really
ring.
could.
Yeah. A
He
broom.
He is just so good at doing promos and back when he was doing the Dangerous Alliance shit, he played
Yeah.
the chicken shit heel really
Oh, yeah.
fucking well too.
Oh, and he still does.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's funny because, I mean, it's the same thing. The biggest talker in the world, but once Brock's out of the way, he's the biggest pussy.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I loved when he was, and he didn't need to be, but he was the mouthpiece for CM Punk,
Yeah.
and then he kind of Punk got kicked out of the Heyman guy group. That
was a
starting
good
for him.
storyline.
It was a good storyline, and it made Heyman look like the biggest fucking chicken shit because
Yeah.
they had a match.
Yeah.
And he didn't even wrestle the match. Brock Lesnar came out of the crowd.
It was great.
But yeah, man, I mean, and that's just that attributes the skill level
Yeah.
of Paul Heyman. I mean, he is. If the dude wasn't in wrestling, he would definitely make a damn good actor.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, he could definitely be like the next Danny.
Yeah, he
DeVito.
was one of the best parts of that really terrible rollerball movie. Is that the name of that movie?
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Really
Honey.
god awful.
Honey, if I whipped out my dick, would you suck it? or something of that nature. Or, oh, I get it. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're so wet for me right now. Yeah, he was. And shout out to Shane McMahon for his little brief cameo in that movie too. Like they literally panned across and there's Shane McMahon out of fucking nowhere. So, but you know, dude, Paul Heyman is awesome. And shit, dude, with 10 minutes to spare, we're down to our number 1.
That's good because it'll give us a little bit of time to talk about maybe some of the guys we didn't mention or didn't get to talk about. Because I got a few.
Okay,
I mean, we've done pretty good. We've covered a lot of people. I'm glad. I'm glad like we had some overlap, and I was really, like I said, I was excited about this list because I knew that Jim Cornette was going to pop up, and that was going to be fun.
Yeah,
and,
fuck that guy.
and much like the list last week with Braun, I generally speaking, the bottom 4 or 5 guys are going to be a little different. And once we get to that top 5, we're usually I can guarantee you in most of these lists we're going to have some overlap.
Yeah.
But-
So number 1, obviously,
Yeah.
the Weasel, the
Yeah.
Brain, Bobby the Brain Heenan. The list of guys he has managed,
Yeah,
the
insane.
champions he has managed, his actual wrestling accolades.
Oh, he was a fantastic worker, but he was undersized.
Yeah.
He was a small guy, and so he never really got a chance to have a run as a wrestler.
One of my favorite matches that he did was actually after he had been managing
Yeah.
for a while.
The Weasel suit,
The Weasel
Yeah.
suit, him versus
Ultimate Warrior.
What? It wasn't. Was it
He's
Warrior?
done it a couple times, I think, but I know he did it with Ultimate Warrior. Is the one I
thought he
remember.
did it with Red Rooster at Mania.
I think he did, but I remember one of the first times he did it was with Warrior.
Okay.
and it's just so great.
Yeah. So
Bobby Heenan getting his comeuppance from the Ultimate Warrior is like
Bobby
the
Heenan
best
getting his
thing.
comeuppance from anybody was the best. I wanted to see him versus Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh yeah,
We are gonna have to do like our top 10 favorite jobbers list.
enhancement talent. We can't say jobber. That's a negative thing. Ask Barry Horowitz. He'll rip you a new asshole
jobber.
for 45 minutes. I'm
know
not a
what?
jobber. I was a good wrestler. And
Yeah, but Lombardi would tell you,
Yeah.
man, I'm a jobber.
Yeah.
I was a jobber with a gimmick.
yeah, exactly.
That was his thing, dude.
Yeah.
So but yeah, man, Bobby Heenan. In fact, Bobby Heenan managed him too.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah,
was
which
a part
is
of the
just
Heenan.
silly.
And if you get a chance, go to Target. Target just released a Heenan family 4-pack.
Wow, nice.
It's freaking amazing. It's Bobby the Brain Heenan. It's Andre the Giant, Mr. Perfect, and Big John Studd.
oh, cool.
So
that is a good one.
Yeah, and it's only like $30, so it's rather affordable. I bought Luke the 4 Horsemen 4-pack last year for Christmas, so but yeah, man. Honorable mention I wanted to throw out there were some of the wrestlers turned managers.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I have one. It was in Ron's list. It was one of mine.
Okay. Yeah.
Most of the
Wait,
guys.
was it?
Yeah, he said Ted DiBiase.
Oh, see,
that's
I was,
mine. I know you're thinking a different one, but
I'm
yeah, he
thinking
mentioned
Rick
one.
Rude. When Rick Rude managed DX, that was
Yeah, because he broke his back in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Sting did the Stinger Splash over the top rope, and this was back in the day at New Japan where they had the ring on a lift.
Yeah.
So they had it like on a stage. And so then there's a nice drop off to the audience, and Sting did the splash, and his back came down on the corner of that. And,
Ouch.
and that ended his wrestling career, really, is
Yeah.
what happened. But
he got a little bit of longevity out of the DX.
just
gimmick
another guy. Well, and then he went to WCW and continued to do the same thing.
with NWO,
Yeah,
which is what DiBiase did.
Yeah, DiBiase did the same thing because they were just flat out stealing guys because they had deep pockets. I mean, they had
Ted Turner money.
Yeah, exactly. And he wanted to put Vince out of business and didn't give a shit how much it cost. So.
Another wrestler turned manager that I kind of wanted to bring up was Ric Flair. When he went over to TNA, one of the first things he did when he was over there was bring out one of my favorite factions that TNA did, which was Fortune.
Yeah.
It was AJ. It started out great, but then started to fucking
like
steamroll.
everything. I mean, because they were. It was basically WCW retread was what TNA was once Hogan and Bischoff took over.
Exactly. But Fortune had AJ Styles, had Frankie Kazarian, had Beer Money,
which is a great lineup of talent.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I got something that I want to talk to you about after the show.
Okay.
Of just kind of like a fantasy booking that I came up with. But yeah, man. Shit. There's so many good managers out there.
Yeah. One I really wanted to talk about, which we really didn't get into, was a big time wrestler. I mean, he was the what did they call him? He was the vampire when I can't remember exactly what they call him, but Classy Freddie Blassie, because he used to have all the matches and he'd bust his opponents open and then he'd get blood in his mouth and spit it everywhere.
Yeah.
And so in California was where he was really over.
Yes.
Wrestling with Great Goliath and all those guys.
Yeah, over there at the LA Auditorium.
Yeah, and San Bernardino, whatever the old arena was in San Bernardino. And he was great. He was really like we talked about the Power 3, and he was really, really good and kind of led up to Bobby Heenan era. Yeah. And he was a lot of fun, but great promos, the pencil neck geeks, the voice was great. Remember
you pencil neck geek.
one of my favorite promos he ever did, and I'm pretty sure it was when they were doing the Invasion gimmick. And they rolled Freddie Blassie in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he cut that great promo. It was like basically the old coach giving the hoorah speech before we go out there. And he stood up out of the wheelchair and did the thing, and that was really great. It was kind of a goosebumpy moment. And it was one of the last things he ever did in the business before he passed. But
yeah,
he was really great.
Another guy I wanted to mention who was kind of the counterbalance to the Axis of Evil, which is Arnold Scotland.
Yeah, exactly. He was one of the few babyface managers.
Yeah,
one of the good guys.
And he really reminded you of like that, like a Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Like a Phil Jackson type of guy, like that basketball coach.
The Zen master.
Yes. And Scotland was good. He had Bockwinkel under his tutelage.
Yes.
He had I think he had
Bob Backlund.
He had all those guys that were like legit wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like he could have managed Vern Gagne.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a person.
Yeah. Well, he kind of had that gimmick going for him that Arnie was the guy. He was the golden guy. Yeah. And if he was on top of you and he was helping you out, you were going to go somewhere.
Yeah. And that's another guy I wanted to mention was Vern Gagne when he was managing. He managed his son.
Yeah.
And he, brought him the gold. I mean, he owned the fucking company.
Yeah. He's the promoter, and his son was the shits. But whatever.
Hey, there you go. But still a decent manager, and yeah.
Well, when we were talking a little bit earlier about Slick being the black guy manager, well, WCW had their counterpart, and I don't think it was an accident that he ended up with all the black guys, but he was a referee, and then
Typhoid Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy Long, man, that dude was fantastic. I mean, he was really great, and it led to him being the GM of SmackDown for years and years, and he was really great in the role.
Another guy I got to meet. He worked a IWL show for us. He was our host, and super, super nice guy. Like,
yeah, and he just seems like that happy, loving,
he's
life-loving guy.
He is literally like your grandfather. You know,
Yeah,
like
I could see that.
like he's like such the nicest guy. Sorry, man. That just reminded me of something. Go ahead.
There's one other female I really wanted to mention because she really was.
Boobies.
Well, there's boobies, but
Boobs.
she really had a major hit because women
She gave me a
basically
major
kind of
boner.
yeah, that too. But women kind of disappeared from wrestling. It was they tried to revitalize in the early '90s the women's wrestling division. They had Alundra Blaze and Bull Nakano and all those guys.
Yeah.
And then they just like disappeared. They were like no women on TV.
I blame that on Alundra Blaze. Dropping the
Kinda.
fucking title.
Well, they were done with her before that. That's it. But then Sunny came along and really changed the business for a long time.
Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't seen any of her. I've just seen screen stills. I haven't watched any of her current work. But she was the first. I mean, Elizabeth was beautiful and everything, but Sunny was the first like sex symbol.
Oh, yeah.
Like she was the. I mean, she literally they were parading her out there in cheerleading outfits and all that stuff.
They
and,
credit her as being the first diva.
Yeah, she was.
And
Exactly.
she was, dude.
And she basically set us up for the last 20 years of really terrible women's wrestling as a byproduct of it, because after Sunny, they started hiring models instead of professional wrestlers.
Well, we did get Sable out of that era, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's another one that I was going to kind of bring up. But
they kind of go hand in hand. But
Yeah.
Sunny was there and got over for about a year before they said, okay, we can do the girl thing now.
Yeah.
We can start bringing them back. And then they brought
Stacy the cat. You remember her?
Yeah, I remember her. and Marlena was kind of around, but she, like I said, she was just waste of space.
Yeah.
I mean, she just had really big tits, and that was it.
I will
but-
say Mark Marrow's second manager
Yeah.
went on to do a lot of great things and is now a part of the WWE Hall of Fame. Jacqueline.
Yeah, she was great.
She
She
was-
was a really good
She
worker.
was a great wrestler
Yeah.
before, and she was trained by Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
So, you get either member of Harlem Heat as your trainer, and you're in good hands. Those guys can both flat out fucking work.
But basically, the reason I wanted to bring up Sunny, because if it weren't for Sunny, we wouldn't have gotten Lita and Trish Stratus and all these women's wrestling, like it wouldn't be there. And I'm glad they're finally going back to, and we can thank Ronda Rousey for this because she's fighting tonight, so I wanted to mention that. I can't wait to get home and watch the fight.
14 seconds.
If not for Ronda Rousey, we wouldn't have this movement in the WWE that, women can fight, and we're going to treat our women as professional athletes and not just tits and ass. So I'm really happy for that, and it's probably hopefully it's going to lead to great things for my sister in out of that, and we can thank Ronda Rousey, who is a fan of my sister, by the way.
Cool.
But Sunny really had a lot to do with that.
She should be.
Yeah,
God damn it.
But
oh man, Cole, it's that time.
oh man, we could go for another 20 easy, but
I could go for another week easy,
Yeah,
dude. I
but-
mean, I'm always saddened at 8:00 on Friday nights because I know that it's gonna be fucking 7 days until I get to do it again. All right, you guys, that was our top 10 favorite managers. Hit us up on Facebook at Heel Talk Radio. Hit us up on Twitter at Heel Talk Radio. Let us know. See, look. Gotta throw down the best music ever. All right, that's been our time. This has been Heel Talk Radio on chaoticradio.com. For No Fucks Given, Cole Dawson, I am the 5-card stud, Jeff Maverick. Peace.